20. Match day 2, Hougang United of Singapore up against Ho Chi Minh City of Vietnam. This is Group F, and we see one of Singapore's best supported clubs, certainly the most fanatic support in the country. And I think that banner probably just shows you what they feel. Their home ground is Hougang Stadium. They are playing in the neutral ground of Jalan Besar, where all AFC matches currently take place. The stadium will be undergoing extensive renovation very soon, with the surface especially needs a bit of work. Good to see some fans here of Ho Chi Minh City. There's a very big Vietnamese diaspora in Singapore, and so I'm sure they will be vociferous. Always good to see these teams come through and get good support here. Singapore being, of course, very multicultural place. And of course, with the ongoing issues around Asia with the coronavirus, AFC Cup not yet affected. Though, of course, it has happened in the AFC Champions League. And Singapore's very own domestic league, Singapore Premier League, is kicking off this coming weekend. And the reason I bring that up is because just a few days ago we had the season opener, the Community Shield, where Tampines Rovers, the highest placed local team, the Singapore Cup. The Singapore Cup winners were supposed to play DPMM, the league winners. DPMM pulled out because of the coronavirus and travel restrictions. So Hougang had to step in, this side here, and that was very, very late on. And it was very good of them, of course, to fill the breach. They were the next highest placed team in the league. And they rested a number of regulars, which we'll talk about in a short while. They got thrashed by Tampines Rovers to give them their first piece of silverware this season. And they find themselves here in action a few days later. But they did rest a number of those players. Remember, this is their first ever AFC Cup tournament, Hougang United. And they got off to a really good start against Lao Toyota, winning that first game. After going behind, they won pretty handsomely in the end. Ho Chi Minh City, a club that has been plying their trade in the top flight since 2017. They have really started to show what they're made of. And they find themselves now in this AFC Cup competition. They've got some real talent in their ranks as well. But had a disappointing draw against Yangon. Even though it was away, it was a game they probably would have expected to have done better in. What can they do tonight? Well, to answer that and commentate as well with me, John Wilkinson, a player who knows this stadium very, very well.
Hi, Shez. Hello, everybody. Yeah, know this stadium well. Know it for being what it is, which is a...
and what is it?
It's a hot bowl of soup is what it is, and... there'll be a lot of drama in this stadium. There always is. I always expect goals, not just in this AFC Cup competition, but at this stadium, at Jalan Besar Stadium. Those are the Hougang Halls. They will be they'll be very vocal, and they'll be back in their side, of course. And a kind of new look Hougang side, a side that's got enough experience. It's littered with Singapore internationals. It's littered with some import players that have played around the region. Stipe Plazibat, of course, who's played over in Thailand. He's bulk of his career now, you have to say, has been on these shores in Singapore. But Ho Chi Minh, as you kind of alluded to, Shez, it was a disappointing draw. I covered that game against Yangon.
What was your impression of it? Should Ho Chi Minh have done better with all the talent they've got?
You always expect a Vietnamese side to play a certain brand of football and to be very strong, especially now. I mean, these are terrific times to be involved in Vietnamese football. They started really, really slowly. Kompong, who got his goal, got an assist in that game, he was very slow, really didn't turn up until the last half an hour in the game. His body language wasn't great, likewise some of his teammates, and it's no wonder that they've made a few changes at the back. Defensively they weren't great at all, and Hougang would be buoyed by that. They would be really enthusiastic, really want to kind of go at them, especially on this surface, Jalan Besar Stadium, where you have to use the bottom of your feet a lot. You have to roll and drag that ball in a kind of five-a-side way. I fancy Hougang to really take it to them. Ho Chi Minh, we saw in the last half an hour, though, in their first game against Yangon, the real qualities that they do have.
So the players about to make their way out here. Ho Chi Minh City also taking part in their first ever AFC Cup competition. So that gives it kind of it's a fresh, you know, two teams who never played before. They come in here wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, and you know, a good start for Hougang, not as good a start for Ho Chi Minh City. But I suppose the pressure here, the home team, they've started well. They'll be expected to win, even though this is a good side.
Yeah, they would be. They would expect to win. You know, like I said before, they've got a lot of experience oozing throughout their side now. You know, they've got players like Zach Anderson at the back that, you know, I spoke to him recently. He's really looking forward to this competition. It's a competition that he feels Hougang can do really well in and perhaps go deep in it. Home United, we know, they use this stadium to their advantage quite a few times in this competition and did really, really well in it. It's a surface that can be pretty unforgiving, but it's the same for both sides. And like I said before, you know, it's not the softest surface and the ball doesn't react naturally. But if you're a touch player, if you move the ball quickly in that central midfield area, you will get your just rewards.
Yeah, Hougang a very good footballing side and love passing the ball around. And of course this pitch helps them that, but the fans don't take to it. They're very much keen on their, and this was their home stadium last year when there was a lot more ground sharing last year, but the fans clearly want them back where they belong. But we'll talk about that in a short while. Here is the Hougang lineup, and it's just the one change from opening day when they beat Lao Toyota. Faiz Saleh makes way for Sahil Suhaimi, one of the new signings this season. He's a very quick, skillful player, Singapore international. But they do also bring in players who are rested from the Singapore Cup as well, including their big scorer, Stipe Plazibat. And that game was played here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. Kim Dae-yong from Korea in charge. It's an all-Korean. Two assistants, Song Bui-kun, Jung Jong-pil, and the fourth official, Mohammad Javiz from the Maldives. There are the Hools, Hougang Hools, well-known supporter group in Singapore. And they will be making plenty of noise throughout this game. And for Ho Chi Minh City, it is a big change, in fact, for them from their last game, that 2-2 draw, as I said, against Yangon United. They make 5 changes. 4 of them are within the defence and the goalkeeper, Bui Tien Dung, the international. He comes in. Le Van Song, Win Hu Tan, Sam Nok Duk, as well as Win Kong Tan. Big player, of course, that people always talk about with this team. When they look at the lineups, would be the number 21, Win Kong Pong, who has had lots of stints overseas, but not actually much game time.
No, and there was some talk about him having an Achilles injury over when he was having a stint in Europe. I'm not sure how true that is. He's a superstar over in Vietnam. He was, I thought he was very, very lively when I watched him over in the Asian Cup recently. His link-up play with Quang Hai, I thought, was sublime at times. The 1 and 2 touch link-up play. Likes the ball over the top, but he is brave. He is very, very good in the air. Of course, he's not the biggest. And down the little sides of, say, big defenders like Zach Anderson, that's where he can do some real damage.
Yeah, he really could light up this tournament, couldn't he? So here we go then. A bit of history in the making here for Hougang United, their very first home game in continental competition. speculation as to how they would shape up for this game. They've generally played 3 at the back.
Just going back to what you were talking about with the fans, that they don't always take to this stadium, this surface in particular. A lot of that is down to their frustration of the fact that the facilities are there for the pitch to get watered before kickoff, but it very rarely is, and that annoys the fans, because when it's watered, it's a lovely slick surface and the ball pings around really quickly, and you really see who are the technicians, who are the best players when the ball's nice and slick like that. Otherwise, it can be a bit of a sticky, slow surface that's not very easy on the eye.
Let's see how this plays out. And you're right, there is definitely...
Well, it's about to get resurfaced as well. Yeah, so, but that is taking quite some time.
Yeah, we'll be out of action for the rest of the year once those works begin. But a lot of teams will be delighted to see the back of it. Visiting teams in particular from overseas. Very good win here for the national team against Palestine. Last competitive match here. World Cup qualifiers. Passes here from Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah, and this is what they're really good at, is just pinging the ball around on one side in a little triangle, 1 and 2 touch, and then switching it really, really quickly. Both sides need to settle down a little bit though, and in these midfield areas, Hougang need to find a way through a little bit quicker.
Khalid, the goalkeeper, Anders Aplin. That forward looking towards Steve Plazivat. We've got Fabian Kwok just screening in front of the defence and allows him just to drop back if required.
Well, we just saw a little bit of afters there, didn't we, with just a bit of off the ball contact. Kong Pong and Anders Aplin. What you will get with Fabian Kwok, Anders Aplin and Zach Anderson is a great work ethic, really good attitude, very, very professional. They do, all 3 of them live being professional footballers. They don't just play at it. And Kong Pong straight away pins himself against Aplin. And I expect the boulder, number 99, to be pinning himself against Zach Anderson. I think that'll be a fantastic battle, both about the same size.
Coming forward there is Kong Tan. Does appear to be 4 at the back. Zach Anderson and Anders Aplin. The right back, Sujad the left back. We'll just keep an eye on that. Depends on if Fabian Kwok can just go in front, he can come back and help out as well.
I think if you've got the fullbacks who start really high, you've got Aplin and Anderson that will drop quite deep, and when they're in possession of the ball, you will get Fabian Kwok just making that back 3 and hopefully trying to move Boulder and Kong Pong. Problem is though for Hougang, when they are in possession at the back of the ball, they don't have a really good technician to bring the ball forward into that midfield.
That was a complete miss. It's a loose ball here. Comedy of errors. Surely any kind of connection, and that would have been the opening goal for Ho Chi Minh.
Well, Kong Pong thought that he got a shove in the back, had a little word with the referee. Under some real pressure now, Hougang.
I'm not sure what the aim of that was from Pham Kong Hen.
As this ball comes in here, the ball bounces, and then there's that little shove in the back for Kong Pong. Referee's in a great position, didn't even acknowledge it.
miss from Wihu Tuan. Air shot from him. Very good area. But yeah, good point there. Might have been a shout for a penalty. Oh, that's onside! Brilliant defending, still alive here. And it looked like Shaul Anwar was going to get the opening goal. That's two chances now, one for either side. But that was excellent defending to stop the shot going in. He was in a great position, and this is what Shaul Anwar can bring. And that pace of his.
Well, a couple of really good opportunities for both sides.
Duck. That's about having to do his defensive duties. Certainly Ho Chi Minh have started the brighter of the two sides, though. Hougang had a brilliant chance themselves to take the lead.
Have a look here as the ball's whipped in. It's really good quality. Boulder is just coming off Zach Anderson, and he was clumsy, just got a bit of a buffeting there, really. At the moment, Afik Noor, he needs to sit a little bit deeper. He needs to just drop in there. He's starting a little bit too high, and it's creating a huge gap in front of the back line for Hougang.
Here's Balde. Finding little gaps here, doing well here. First chance, it's saved by the keeper. And it's that man, Kong Pong.
One thing you notice with Kong Pong, if you check his physique now, coming back from Europe, a lot stronger. And that was a really strong strike from him. It was a good stop in the end. And Boulder was prowling.
We've had a number of opportunities already in the first 8 minutes. Something on that, Balde. Diakite. Seeing a lot of the ball at the moment, this Ho Chi Minh City side. Kong Hien. Diakite. Moment Hougang on the back foot a little. Unable to get on the ball, chasing shadows. Very patient build up here.
And that's what Kong Pong gives you when he drops into the no man's land area. He can just quicken things up. Very, very intelligent. Once in a generational talent, really.
So he's not really seen much of the ball yet so far.
And here's the cutback and strike on target. It's a really good start. Busy kind of work there from Shaul Anwar. Flick over the head, gets that handball. This is that battle again from Zach Anderson and Balde. Dangerous area, Hougang. Slinging some really good quality.
I was about to say that for them to just relieve a bit of that pressure. Of Hafiz Sujad on the right of Shaul Anwar's. We've seen a little bit of a tussle. Diakite has been told to behave himself. So an in-swinger here, very close to the goalkeeper.
Oh, see, I love that delivery, Shez. I love that drifted delivery towards the goalkeeper, and it's at a good height to be able to throw something on that.
Still not quite able to get there.
Maybe the runs weren't quite right, but that's not a bad delivery at all.
It's been a lively start to this game in the AFC Cup.
Yeah, nice feel to it, isn't it? Really nice feel.
Balde. Just hold off there, the challenge. Again, now Kongpuong. Too many bodies there for him. Stupid Plazivat pulls that right across the park. Mitchell. What's your thoughts on Stipe Plazivat and his best position, John? Because he's played in a variety of them, especially last season.
Well, first off, I think Stipe Plazivat, he's found his level. You know, he had a little go over in Thailand, didn't quite work out for him, and it's very difficult for a striker to go and lead the line, be an import player in Thailand. You don't get many opportunities, don't get a lot of time. You've got to hit the ground running. Didn't quite work out for him in Bangkok. And look, I like him in between the lines. I like him dropping off into midfield every now and then. But I can completely understand Hougang having him right up top. You know, you have a series of previous import players since the Singapore Premier League or the S League inception. This is just a strike on target. Once again, Kompong getting another one on target. Marko Grabovac, for example, and you know, they come from the same part of the world. I can understand Hougang wanted to stick him right up top, the main man, the man to get the goals for them. I think, though, when you have Sahil Sahaimi with his pace, I think perhaps, you know, Sahil Sahaimi can only play one position. I think he can only really play and gallop over the top into space, because I don't think he's cute enough to be dropping in between the lines. I don't think he's got the engine to be playing in a wide position, really, and doing his due diligence the other way. So I don't really like Steve Plazzi back in with the players he's got around him at the moment. Dropping back. I like him to play right up top if possible.
Pressure then from Shawal Anwar. At the moment, it does appear that Sahil Sahaimi is the lone man. That's what prompted my question to John about Plazivat being drawn. He's not playing on that left-hand side, isn't he?
I just don't see why. I don't see why they can't just have Sahil Sahaimi and Plazivat up top. Shawal Anwar, I think he can play in a wider position.
It's also quite fluid, as we saw from that first game against Lao Toyota. They were very thoroughly beaten by Tampines Rovers in the Community Shield a few days ago. No foul to the referee, but they didn't play their top side. Here's Mitchell. Now Plazivat surging forward. He's got Hafiz Shujan, and he could have got rid of the ball earlier, but very good challenge from Diakite.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic tackle. Diakite, I thought he was fantastic in the second half of the game against Yangon. I thought he was really, really good. Very calm, good talker.
Oh, it's a good ball in! Flag has stayed down. Kompong gets his goal. Really good work on the byline. And you'd have to say, on the balance of play so far, John, Ho Chi Minh City deserved that.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. And that's how good a tackle that was from Diakite. It really was timed to perfection. It was a real cruncher. He meant it. But also, a lot of the Hougang players were taken out of the game because they committed themselves forward. Mitchell in particular bombed forward. As this ball's just played into an area, Zach he has a little look over his right shoulder, but he gets sucked towards the ball because he thinks he can cut it out. And the thing is, once you go past that near post as a defender, if the ball goes past you, you can be left with egg on your face. You can't say that wasn't coming. You can't say that Kompong didn't have his sighters.
Trumpy Son, the skipper of Ho Chi Minh, great work on that right-hand side on the byline to cut that back. Kompong, as you mentioned, they're just drifting in. Zach Anderson now, just to compound their problems, Stipe Plazibat, who was rested in that game. Just picking up something there, but he seems to be okay. Keep an eye out for that one.
I could just imagine, before this goal comes in, the boys in the studio, Chevy and Roshan, just saying, goal's coming. You just felt it, and you felt that it was going to be this guy. He had like 3 or 4 shots on target before that, and that's a really good finish because that's great contact. It's coming at him at an awkward height, doesn't have much time to adjust his body.
Said it was coming. Hougang looked a little loose at the back here.
Just like to see Matchell as well start demanding the ball in the midfield areas. As an import player, especially as a midfielder, these are the situations you really have to relish. You really have to make the difference. You've got to start changing the point of play regularly.
Up top.
And I don't mind, that's a good searching ball, Shez.
Yeah. Eventually comes out for it, Bui Tian Dung. Just here, Diakite giving instructions out. A bit of loose play there. Balde did enough, didn't he? Just getting past Anders Ablin now. Kompong. He's got his skipper there in front of him. Pison, he's gone for goal. Easy for Caroline. But you could just see Balde putting his hands up, saying, "What about me?"
Pison, we've not really mentioned him, and we should have done, and I take responsibility for that because I was oozing over him. He was the best player on the park in Ho Chi Minh's first game against Yangon. He was absolutely fantastic. He really was. Didn't hardly gave the ball away. Played off little angles. He was playing a lot deeper than he is tonight.
Well, he did supply that goal just now for Kompong, and great play from him on that right-hand side. Made things a bit difficult for Fabian Kwok. On this right-hand side at the moment for Hougang. Hafiz Sujat, sorry, this left-hand side for Hougang, excuse me. Hafiz just behind him. Matchell wanted to make that run. Again, this is what they're looking for. They're trying to get Shawal Anwar in. Using that pace of his, get behind the defence.
He's just got to pick his moments. Shawal Anwar just got to, I think, start out to win. Just ghost in, because that little movement over the top, he's got in a couple of times now. Fabian Kwok, quite rightly, sticks his hand up to apologise because that ball just been overcooked, and it shouldn't. It's a simple diagonal ball over the top. There's a couple of little openings for Hougang, something that they should take some confidence from. I don't think they're going to be able to outpass Ho Chi Minh. It's not a great back line from Ho Chi Minh. It's quite flat, and it can be really high at times. Well disguised balls over the top can really bear fruit.
Hougang are playing pretty much a 4-1-4-1 at the moment. As I mentioned, Fabian just in front of that back four. Maybe they'll overrun at times. Here's Balde.
Balde does brilliantly there. Does really, really well. Holds the ball up nice and strong.
Again, it's good work from Pison.
Yeah, Matchell stays with him really well. Works his socks off, and you can tell from Matchell that he looks like he's been swimming already. Gets nice and low, side on, piece on. Technically very, very sound. Matchell stayed with it. Heavy breathing now from a lot of the Hougang boys.
I mean, the guys who actually play in Singapore and in the stadium. Diakite doesn't get to that. Yeah, puts it in again. It's a bit sluggish, I agree, John. They seem to be struggling with the pace of this game. Stipe Plazibat does well. Is there an outlet? He just put his hand up there in frustration. There's nothing. And he's taking a risk again. That's not the first time he's done that. That just might indicate the lack of options for him at the moment.
Yeah, but then I think when you're in that sort of position, you've got to be clever. You've got to take the contact and go down. I think you'd be a little bit smarter in that sort of situation. But once again, it highlights Stipe Plazibat. I know he won the ball, came back and won the ball. It's not where you want him to be. And you're looking at some of the Hougang players looking tired. The style of play that they're having to play is tough. It's a frayed, rugged style, and they're doing a lot of their work without a ball. The ball will always move quicker than the player, poaching in and popping the ball around.
Right across the field. Kong Kien. Kong Tun pushing a little further up, full-back. Very comfortable on the ball at the moment, Ho Chi Minh City. Diakite. Huang drops back a little now. It's just fallen nicely for Stipe Plazibat, who is the furthest man forward for once. Looks up. It's a delightful ball. And Charles Anwar was getting ready for the spectacular. It was Hu Tuan with an important header.
Well, Plazibat only had one player to drift the ball towards. But that's a fantastic header. It's great because he gets himself in a terrific position. You can see man and ball. It's not the biggest, but just managed to get something on that, just a quiff.
Just saw Balde saying, looking back at his team, saying, relax. Into the mix, keeper does enough.
Great delivery, right on the money.
Hougang, one of two players with an identical name, has played for his country. Just to make things interesting, he's got a younger brother, also called Bui Tien Dung. Anderson's header is wide.
Move from Zach. He's disappointed because he has a really good look at this. Shouldn't really be going for goal here. He's got to be putting that back into a dangerous area.
Ice there, gets the ball back, but needs to distribute it quickly. Matchell. Is this 4-1-4-1 working for you, John?
Well, not at the moment. It's really not, and it's mainly because of the screening job that Minh Quoc is trying to do. He's just not quite understanding. He's trying to just go a little bit further wide in possession of the ball. And once there's a turnover, there's a big gap in that central area because Afik Noor's not coming in to drop quick enough.
Again, it's a lot of space there. My word. Balde, he can't believe it. Not sure we can either.
No, it's a delicious ball across, really. Look here. Balde just stays flat-footed. Isn't proactive enough. And then going back to this 4-1-4-1, Minh Quoc he's trying to offer his services to get the ball when Hougang are in possession. And in doing so, he's drifting out of that central midfield area. And when it breaks down, there's nobody covering. There's nobody covering Zach Anderson and Applin. Nor can't get back in time. He's starting too high up.
Would you advocate a change of formation rather than a change of personnel at this stage?
I think formation, yeah. And when you have a look at the bench and the options that Hougang got, there's not really anyone that can come on and change the game straight away. Maybe you've got Shafiq Ghani that can hold on to the ball. Technically, he's pretty sound. And still, it's the first half, 1-0 down. Hougang have had a couple of sighters, and you do expect Ho Chi Minh to give you a couple of more look-ins. It's just they're looking a bit frayed at the moment, Hougang, individually. There's a couple of mouth breathers.
It's Afik Noor. Matchel. Stipe Plazibat there. That's where the ball ends up. Then it's just slowed right down, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's just because Haugang's working so hard without the ball. And when they get in possession, there's very few players that can be dynamic once they've got it.
Nazrul Nazari going for his pace. That's quite lucky here, Shawal Anwar.
And this is what I'm talking about. Yes, sorry. As the ball comes in, Ho Chi Minh, they will give you a little look. They will give you a chance. There's really only Diakite at the back there that's holding them together. A single stitch.
Well, it's an opportune moment to get some liquids in and also a quick chat with the coach. There's the only goal scorer so far, Win Kong Pong. Good goal. Good build up to that goal as well. Now we've just seen Stipe Plazibat has moved back into the most forward position. And Sahil Suhaimi has moved to that left-hand side, which just seeing a sort of vigorous nod from my fellow commentator.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a 4-2-3-1. Just confirm. Let's just see that. Does it look like Afik Noor is going to be holding hands with Fabian Kwok?
There he is, Afik Noor. Yeah, I think you might be right. We were just talking about changing that, weren't we?
Yeah, I just think it's better. I just think it's more stable. Or Macho, perhaps. Yeah, just drifting in there, and that's what you want if an import play. You want to get Matchell on the ball.
Here's Afik. Trying to release the pace on this side, and that pace is through Nazrul Nazari and Shawal Anwar, both very, very quick players. Neither of them, well, particularly Nazrul hasn't been able to show off his lung-busting runs yet.
Yeah, Win Kong Tan, he at left back for Ho Chi Minh. He does tend to switch off. He doesn't tuck in and get himself in a good starting position. Just switches off at times, and all the problems are coming for Ho Chi Minh down the right-hand side, their left-hand side. And I think if Nazrul Nazari can keep himself pretty fresh, he can start busting a gut, I think, in the second half and really start making some forays forward. Double teaming against Kong Tan.
Kong Pong loses the ball. He's waiting and waiting for some kind of contact. Ignore, clever from him. And a little chat here with Huang Tin.
Yeah, it's incredibly clumsy though. Afik Noor, I think, does brilliantly. Just gets his body in the way, feels that contact, plays percentages for a bit. Just
wouldn't fall, would it? Suhaimi.
It's that back line again, that flat back line from Ho Chi Minh, still not great.
Little signs for Hougang here.
Oh, certainly. I think, coming to the half-hour mark now, there are a few positives. We knew there was going to be goals in this, yes. We knew that. Defensively, I don't think either side is that sound.
Some changes at the back. Hougang with the likes of Applin and Anderson brought in. Talk made of our players who left. Big names. Yunus, the centre-back. Fajrul Nawaz, well as saying forwards, but the big ones. Faris Rami, fantastic attacking talent. In Malaysia, Trengganu and Sufami Arifin, the skipper, Squalapuri. Sarcastic clap there from Clement.
Shallow does great there. Quick feet. Once again, double teamed, takes the contact, slows things down a little bit. That's okay for now. Hougang have had a decent spell of possession last 5 minutes. Perhaps a couple of the individuals can just have a little bit of a breather, get themselves together.
Forward by Zappelin. Flag stays down. Oh, no, it does go up in the end. Sahil.
Oh, that's not a great call. I think that's a great call. Oh, it's a handball. Yeah, it's not offside, it's a handball. It's again that diagonal ball, catching Ho Chi Minh out.
Quick attackers and powerful attackers. But Sahil and Shawal can cause all kinds of problems when they just don't go as involved as they'd probably like at the moment. Pison trying to get that back to Balde. Now Matchell. There are a lot of players that left the club, and they've brought in Zach Henderson, as I mentioned, and the Zappelin, Charles Matchell. Sahil Sonomi, amongst others.
If you look at the work, Matchell's, he's given the ball away twice, and now he's the wrong side of the ball there. Like I said, you know, playing in Jalan-Besar Stadium is really humid. You know, it's incredibly humid. He gets on top of you, the rubber starts melting around your feet. And you can end up just looking like you're running on a treadmill. Got to be smart when playing in the AFC Cup in Jalan-Besar Stadium.
Stop to his tracks. Pison. Akonkwo. Look at that from him. Wriggle his way through. Afignor. Use again of his body.
Yeah, it's a position that suits him much better. He starts a little bit deeper. He's a strong boy, he's stout.
Here's Plazibat on the right hand side now. Well, one way of looking at it, John, is that they're trying to keep it fluid with the attackers of Plazibat, Sahil and Shawal, but it's not quite panning out at the moment, is it? Not quite working.
No, I mean, if you're trying to pick the best team to have fluid attackers, you probably look at Liverpool. I mean, their attackers are incredibly fluid, but that style of play in this stadium, in this part of the world, you know, it's Liverpool are probably the best side in world football without the ball as well. They press incredibly well. Playing AFC Cup against a Vietnamese side, this humidity, you know, it's a long game without the ball. It really is. I'm just not sure that style suits Hougang for now.
Here's Anderson. And Matchell. Ball slipped through, Stephen Plazibat, the flag stayed down. Well, he seemed to take an age to take the shot. Again, very, very good defending.
Great
to
ball.
recover.
Sorry, Chef, what a ball from Matchell. Loads of disguise on it. And a terrific tackle. Plazibat just trying to open his body out and slot that home. Yeah, you're right, Shez. It looks like he's been off the pace, Plazibat, throughout this game. Drifting around a variety of positions and giving the ball away. And have a look at the contrast. Kong Pong there, hardly sweating.
This was Kong Pong earlier. Oh, this is the goal, excuse me.
Yeah, Pison, captain, and Kong Pong combining here. Watch him drift into the dangerous area. Just drifts in behind Zach Anderson, and that's a great finish.
Challenge there from Van Son. That's 2 goal-saving tackles now from Ho Chi Minh City.
Really good ball from this boy, Matchell. Loads of disguise, down the side. Plazibat has to do better in that sort of situation, has to. Pretty much giving the ball away every time he's had it.
The crowd, Vietnamese side of things, will be fairly happy that their side is up. We feel they could have got a couple more. Some of the balls just not falling for the players. Air shots. Hougang have also had a couple of chances of their own for some very good last gasp defending. The reality is BTN Duk there has had very little to do.
Yeah, I can't think of much he's had to do actually. From the corner he's had to fist one away. That's about it.
Swung in by Kong Hien. Now Fabian Kwok. Hafiz. So Jaime on that left-hand side has given that away. Kong Pong. No, Nok Duk. The goal comes off Anderson. Kong Hien. Good ball out to Kong Hien. Right from the back, Hu Tuan. Kong Tan. Header from Balde straight at Khairul.
Well, as the ball comes to Kong Tan here, he drifts one in. No one's gone with Kong Tan. It's far too late. Shawwell tries to get back. Fortunately, Balder's movement's not great. He's in there standing.
Fairly well worked move from Ho Chi Minh City. Nazrul Nazari. Matchell. On that pass from Stipe Plazibat, they've got away with it. Afik. Now Sahil. He's got Hafiz Sujan just outside of him and needed a better pass. Easy for Van Son. Their attack breaks down quickly, Hougang. Pison. Looking for Kong Pong.
Well, if a better ball from Pison there to Kong Pong. Kong Pong's in, and Pison just gives him a little thumbs up. For once we saw Hafiz Sujad busting the gut, getting forward, getting over that halfway line, and then it broke down too quickly. Sahil Sahimi didn't cover him.
Are you feeling that the fullbacks aren't getting forward enough for you?
Yeah, I just think that they need to be starting a little bit higher. They need to be giving Ho Chi Minh a little bit more to think about. I know Zach and Aplin at the back there, they're a little bit wary about Kong Pong's pace. Not so much Boulders.
Plazibat. Hafiz Sujad going for the goal. Matchell, ball in. That will go out for a corner.
Good ball in as well. Lovely ball in, really good.
This one heads that out. He's been pretty good at the back. Oh, what a time now for Hougang if they can get a goal. Header off corner earlier from that man there, Zach Anderson. He's wide. Be one of the obvious target men. Stipe Plazibat and Zaplin. Some of the others. Was Zaplin in the end? Yeah, it was.
When having another look at that, I think he had a good sighter of this. The ball's come a long way, and a long time to readjust.
Just about 3 minutes left in this first half. AFC Cup, match day 2. Hougang United of Singapore versus Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City. The only goal of the game so far from Win Kong Kwok, their star player. There's a sluggishness about Hougang today.
Yeah, condition-wise, I don't think they're in great shape. I know they've had to work incredibly hard to just keep the score to what it is right now, and going with runners it's a pretty thankless task. Going from midfield runners, it's always tough playing against Vietnamese sides, especially in the midfield area. They always seem to outnumber you. They're 1 and 2 touch passing. This boy, I think he's grown into the game. In the last 15 minutes, I think he's been probably Hougang's best player. Getting through a lot of work, offering himself, being brave with the ball.
Seems like it's just winding down now, doesn't it? Real rush from either side, really.
As it edges closer to half-time, I think Ho Chi Minh will look at things and go, yeah, okay, first half done. Sew it up and get ready for the second half. Once again, looking at Kong Pong, it doesn't look like he's played nearly 45 minutes, does it? Fresh.
Yeah, he's about the only one looking like that. Here's Anderson to Applin. Too easy to get that ball off. Afek Noor, actually done by Kong Kien. This is Nokduk. Oh, he slipped over. Plazibat, second best of that one against Diakite. Kong Kwok. Slips it in to Balde. Oh, an important challenge to stop goal number 2. That looked like it was coming.
Well, there's levels to everything, isn't there? And Kong Pong plays at a slightly different level than everybody else. We saw the contrast. The ball went into Stipe Plazibat. He lost possession. The ball gets shunted into his opposite number, Kong Pong. And he turns and he goes past somebody and he slips somebody in and creates something a little bit special.
Does seem a little immobile, doesn't he? The big man, Balde, Guinea-Bissau international. I've had stints with some pretty big clubs, Sporting. So start Sporting Lisbon, Celtic. And there, he shows his quality. Using his 1.93 metre frame to get the goal number 2, right on the cusp of half-time.
Great ball in, wonderful ball in, and You do feel a little bit sorry for Applin. He's got to give Boulder a nudge in this situation. In this sort of situation, he's far too tight for Boulder, and in a jumping contest, there is going to be no contest. Have a look at this. Boulder just pins himself against Applin here, and Applin needs to do a little bit more. He needs to give Boulder a little nudge and hope that the referee doesn't blow the whistle, because he's not going to out-jump him. And we heard the thud of the header. It's great contact. It's a bruising finish.
That was again another delightful ball in from Pisson. 2 assists for the skipper. And we were talking about scoring just before the break, and it's Ho Chi Minh City who've done it and are looking good here.
Well, it amazes me that Pisson hasn't got more caps for his country, and you know, he plays on that right-hand side. When he was central in the first and early second half of the game against Yangon, everything went through him. He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, handful of caps. Try and Pisson. He's been playing very, very well here. Anderson, a lot of work to do. Well, Hougang now. Remember, they were a goal behind against Lao Toyota, but this is a very different kind of team as we come to the end of this first half, John Wilkinson.
Yeah, there's a few positives to take. You know, diagonal early balls over the back line of Ho Chi Minh could maybe bear fruit in the second half for Hougang, but that man there, Kong Pong, barely got a sweat on, and Ho Chi Minh much better side.
Yes, well played by the visitors there. Early pressure has paid off. They got a goal through Kong Kwong, and then Amido Balde, half-time score. Hougang United 0, Ho Chi Minh City 2.
So far it's not going according to plan for the home side. Hougang United trailing by 2-0 at Jalan Besar Stadium. A thundering header by Amido Balde just before the half-time whistle, doubling Ho Chi Minh's lead. We'll bring you the highlights from that one, as well as tell you what's going on at the Rizal Memorial Stadium in a couple of minutes' time.
Every day is better with friends.
You've taken the call-up.
Wake up! It's game time.
Lived the sleepless nights. Stood together through the tough times. And celebrated the wins. And now Standard Chartered is giving you the chance to win a trip to Anfield. Simply go to the Fox Sports Asia website and tell us in 25 words or less why you should stand red at Anfield and never walk alone.
Sunday, UFC Fight Night. Joseph Benavidez takes on Davison Figueiredo in a power-packed flyweight title fight. Live, Sunday, on Fox Sports.
The stats. He's a good driver.
Go, Matt Luckett.
Yes. Lewis Hamilton.
He likes to take risks.
Roger Federer, because
he can't believe what he's done. The champion is good. He's the world champion. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, he got hit. And
that was the moment.
Plenty of goals right around Asia, and that is how we like it on our coverage of the AFC Cup here on Fox Sports Live. As we've been watching at Jalan Besar Stadium, it's currently the away side who are 2 goals to the good. Ho Chi Minh up against Hougang United. 2 goals scored as well in the Philippines at Rizal Memorial Stadium. And as we enter the last half an hour in Cambodia, Svay Rieng are currently up against Bali United. So plenty of goals to bring you and not that much time to do it. So let's take you straight to the first goal that we saw at Jalan Besar Stadium that put Ho Chi Minh a goal to the good. And that came from one of the men who we were building up to in the lead up to this one, Nguyen Kong Phong. And just take us through this one, Russian.
Yeah, again, we highlighted him and his ability to not just play in one of those forward positions, but to drop off and find free spaces. And you can see all the way through he's unmarked. There isn't anyone in an orange shirt that's picking up his run from a deeper area, and it can be very difficult for defenders to sort of track those runs. But you can see what happens there is Anders Aplin actually gets sucked out towards him and then doesn't sort of track back with that run. He goes out to him thinking it's going to be a cutback, and then turns away, starts looking at the ball, and that's when Kong Phong makes his move in on his blind side, and he's ball watching in that situation, and then they get punished there.
Yeah, Kong Phong scored in the 15th minute, but he did have a couple of chances prior to that. And with that in mind, there were warning signs for Hougang right from the outset that perhaps they should have been marking him a little bit tighter, Chevy.
Well, I would like to know what the 3 central defenders, or rather the 2 central defenders, have been doing in the first half, because they haven't gotten close to anyone. Zach Anderson hasn't won a header against Balde. Anders Aplin, has been caught ball watching, and he's been brushed aside, as we will see. And if you give that amount of time and space to Kong Phong, he's going to punish you. He's one of the best players in Southeast Asia, one of the best forwards in Southeast Asia. And once again, for me, it has been a nothing first half for Hougang. Very soft in central defense, no creativity in central midfield. And it's no surprise that Ho Chi Minh not playing at their best, I would say. I think there's still a gear left for Ho Chi Minh City, but in the second half, Hougang have to turn up.
Yeah, the 25-year-old Kong Phong, known as the Vietnamese Messi. We know that Lionel Messi assists and creates just as much as he scores, and so too Kong Phong doing the same in this match. His vision as well and his passing has been pretty good so far, Roshan.
Has been very good. I mean, he's got a good supporting cast around him as well. Amido Balde playing that role of the target man, just occupying central defenders, and it's difficult at times. Again, he gets into these spaces in behind Hougang's midfield, and Afiq Noor is struggling as well to sort of track those movements. So is Fabian Kwok in those areas. He's just playing at a sort of a different level at the moment, Ho Chi Minh. And in terms of the quality that they have, I touched on the fact that the first game against Lao Toyota, it was pretty comfortable for Hougang, but coming into this, they're going to come up against a side that are really good. Wonderful technical quality. I mean, you don't finish runners-up in the V-League and not be a good side, and they're showing how good they can be. Just lovely little touches, passes into spaces in behind Hougang's defense, and the movement of the ball is just causing all sorts of issues for Hougang.
Yeah, we saw there a chance for Amido Balde. He was unable to convert with his feet, but a couple of minutes later, boy, did he find the back of the net with his head. What a towering header this was, and you could hear the impact, ball on head, before ball went in the back of the net, Chevy.
Indeed, and once again, I mean, time and space for the winger, time to look up, put it into that area where you know that Balde will attack it. But I would like to know who is marking Balde. Nobody. I mean, Aplin not the biggest, but I would say in a situation like this, Zach Anderson should stick to the tallest man and go with him wherever he goes. And for me, I think it's been, like I say, it's been really poor from Hougang. They've got to turn up in the second half.
Yeah, perhaps one of the brighter sparks for Hougang in that first half, Shawal Anwar. And we talked about what they're missing in the first half. Well, he missed a couple of good chances as well. Has he been their best player so far, would you say, Roshan?
It's difficult really to pick out Hougang's best player. I guess Gairolin in goal has been the best because of the chances that and how dominant Ho Chi Minh have been. But what I will say about him is he's an outlet, he's an option in terms of his pace and his movement, how he runs inside, starting from a wider position, moves in towards the fullback, and in times just runs really well just to try and get in behind and keep himself in an onside position. But it's generally been quite difficult for Hougang United really to sort of string any threatening moves together against Ho Chi Minh. Plazibat's trying to get himself involved, he's working hard, but it's very difficult to go through the midfield as well. And I mean, if we're speaking about Plazibat and his involvement in this game, he had a chance here. It's a lovely ball played in behind, defense splitting ball, and he just wants far too much time on the ball here, Shebi, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking, you know, that he's clear on his own and he takes forever. I mean, he's not like that. I don't know, much earlier in the game, saw him limping a little bit. Yeah. Maybe, you know, he's carrying an injury because he doesn't hesitate when he gets into the box. Not what he did on this occasion.
Yeah, so that is in Group F. Meanwhile, in Group G, a couple of matches going on. We'll take you to the Rizal Memorial Stadium, first of all, where Steras Negras are currently entertaining Tung Quang Ninh of Vietnam, and we'll bring you the goals. The first one going to Tung Quang Ninh. Jeremy Lynch, Shebi, you picked him out before the match, and he rather validated your praise before it with that goal there.
Well, he does, you know, but there was a great ball in for him, goes around the goalie, I mean, empty net, and he does well. And I would say that, you know, this has been an exciting first 45. It's been a bit of a battle, but there's been enough quality on show as well. As we see here, this is quite late in the half, very late in the half, and Maronion does ever so well from the spot.
And meanwhile, from the Philippines, let's take you to the National Olympic Stadium in Phnom Penh. Svai Reng of Cambodia up against Indonesia's Bali United. This match got going a little bit earlier on, and in terms of the goals, it was Svai Reng and Hoi Falin who got things going with a great finish in the end there, Russia.
Yeah, it was a good finish, especially on that pitch. Can be very bumpy, keeps his head down, gets the ball on target past the goalkeeper. But really, I mean, Bali United, the two goals that they've conceded here come from defensive lapses. The first one was a long ball played over the top, and then the second one here, again, you see just a mistake in midfield, and Svai Reng get the second.
Yeah, heading into the last minute of stoppage time in the first half, Spasojevic thought he had found the back of the net there, but it was ruled out for offside. As we take a look at the replay, you can see the number 9 not particularly happy with the decision, and you can see why, because he is ridiculously clearly onside there when the ball is played, and that's rather unforgivable. He did manage to get his goal there in the 59th minute, and you can see the way he's celebrating there. Perhaps a look at the assistant linesman as well, saying, "You're not going to rule that one out, thank you very much." So that one's still ongoing, reaching its latter stages. Meanwhile, we are going to turn our attentions back to Jalan Besar once we return from a break. It's Hougang up against Ho Chi Minh City, and it's the Singaporean side who need to find their way back into the game. They're 2-0 down, the second half. Coming up next on Fox Sports Live.
You've taken the call-up.
Wake up! It's game time.
Lived the sleepless nights. Stood together through the tough times. And celebrated the wins. And now Standard Chartered is giving you the chance to win a trip to Anfield. Simply go to the Fox Sports Asia website and tell us in 25 words or less why you should stand red at Anfield and never walk alone.
It's the future of football.
I can't believe it!
Legends of tomorrow. Skill to the max.
Kai Havertz with a delightful chip. Timo Werner, the man on red hot form.
Visionaries on the touchlines. Reinventing the game.
Pure class team football.
The stuff is next level.
An astonishing Topspiel.
The future is now. RB Leipzig versus Bayer Leverkusen. Live on Fox Sports.
He's so cute. Look away. My email was nickjlever.
Oh my!
You're the kind of singer I would die to write songs for.
Pop that, my friend.
You just help me think. This isn't fair. It's adorable.
Yes, you are.
You can't say no to this.
If you don't choose me as your coach, this puppy's going to go straight back to the animal shelter. What is wrong with you?
The Voice, tonight at 8 p.m. Same day as the U.S. on Fox Life.
Welcome back to the Jalan Besar Stadium. It's half-time between Hougang United and Ho Chi Minh City. And Ho Chi Minh 2 goals to the good. 15th minute with Kwang Puong. Right at the very end of the first half, Amido Balde with a header. And that's a pretty fair reflection. It probably could have been more, in fact, for Ho Chi Minh. There's the brains trust, as it were, of Hougang having a chat about how to maybe change things around.
Well, they've got a lot to think about, and you know, at the moment, Hougang are hoping that something's going to happen rather than trusting themselves to make something happen. It's very difficult to make something happen when you don't quite have the energy to do it, and they don't look like an energetic side. They look like a side going through the motions, really, and hoping that, you know, a little bit of pace up front and the stake at the back from Ho Chi Minh might let them in.
We'll see if they've changed anything with the shape, because the personnel is still the same. There's control there from Shawal, Clay and Hafiz Sujat. See maybe a little bit more in these first few seconds of intent, perhaps. Pisson is down.
Well, that's definitely a yellow card. Pisson does brilliantly there in tight situations, and this is what, you know, Vietnamese midfielders are the best at the moment in Southeast Asia. Tight situations, keeping possession, twisting away. Pisson, the captain, gets a wrap on the ankles from Fabian Kwek. And,
well, Fabian got the yellow card, but Hafiz Sujat also got
a piece of him as
right
well.
Achilles, yeah. Both of them could have been carded, but well, it's Hafiz who's got the yellow, perhaps. Surprising, because it was Fabian who immediately put his hand up to apologise.
Pisson goes limping away.
So now it's Hafiz with the yellow, whether that's going to change later. But I think Noor showing too much of the ball, but gets a bit lucky. Seems transition here about how that's only a minute 45 seconds, but seem a bit more up for it now. Diakite. Less of the ball at the moment, Hougang. Sujat does well. Floated in by Shawal. Looking for Sahil. Here's Afik. Plazibat.
Great turn from Pong.
Tries to play in Balde. Can't put it out of play. Ablin still alive here. Pisson. Oh, look at that, Kwang Puong again. Just can't quite get in the end of it. It's the third time I think we've seen something like that happen for Ho Chi Minh City. It's quicker about the pace about this game, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's mainly from Hougang's doing. They really want to force the issue, they really want to press, and they have to.
Sahil. Needed to be a better ball to Stipe Plazibat. He's a bit frustrated.
Well, of course, he just doesn't use his body nearly well enough. It's a really good tackle. Once again, Plazibat losing out.
Son, who's been excellent so far. Look at that. Oh, trying to showboat a little bit, perhaps. That's going to annoy some players. Maybe he feels he's earned the right.
He's definitely earned the right. Away from home, 2-0 up, 2 assists. It's only showboating if there's no end product.
Yeah, I think some of the Vietnamese fans with that stand. The corner's being taken. Attacking the ball, Diakite.
That's actually better from Aplin. I think the Diakite now, Aplin and Fabian Kwok, they just double teamed him, but they're backing into him. This is Pisson just wriggling away and getting a wrap on the Achilles there.
Both of them fouled him actually, but it was only officially Hafiz Sujan who got the yellow card rather than Fabian Kwok, who apologised immediately. Nothing. Zach Anderson. Here's Hafiz.
Oh, just about got away with it then. And the problem was Aplin, once he received the ball, giving it back the way it came, he needed to turn out. Now he's got acres of space and can do it.
Is that onside? Shot. And Sahil straight to the keeper. Few efforts they've got on goal.
Distribution from the keeper as well. It's a wide area. It's amazing, the goalkeeper. Hougang are set. They've got their shape. But how a goalkeeper can throw the ball to the halfway line and a Ho Chi Minh midfielder can bring the ball down with lots of time. I mean, it just shouldn't happen.
We just saw the yellow card for Fabian Kwok, which is what we thought was the case earlier. Unclear whether they've both been given a yellow card, but probably Fabian Kwok. Time wasting, or referee is having a quick word there with Kong Hien. Here's Hafiz. In play. Natural.
Once again, and that's a decent ball from Aplin. And if you're going to nitpick, maybe you can put a little bit more disguise on that, but it gives Plazibet a chance and still giving it away.
I think. Better. Ball back. Van Son. Now Kwok out wide here. Slips over. That's a good chance. It didn't need to be put out of play there. Oh, they've survived. Somehow Hougang have not conceded a third.
Well, Hougang just intent on giving the fans some drama. I mean, Kompong lays it on a plate there. Pisson, it's not a great effort from him. It didn't need to be cleared, as you said. Nazrul Nazari puts it back into a danger area, and he clears it off the line again. Was it with his hand? Was it with his thigh? Let's have a look here. The left thigh? Yeah, just about the left thigh. You've got to give him the benefit there.
Yeah, when their questions are being asked, John, they are being torn apart at times.
Well, they are, and at the moment Hougang are going to have to defend very, very deep because they just haven't got the pace at the back right now. If they try and press further up, you do fear that Ho Chi Minh, too many clean pairs of heels to get in behind.
Ho Chi Minh have found themselves some really good positions in the penalty area and not taken advantage. Will it come back to haunt them? As of now, you'd say unlikely, given that Hougang have created very little going forward. There have been some excellent challenges on attackers inside the penalty area.
I see Diakite there bombing on, trying to underlap, and Pisong going for the nutmeg. Thing is with players like Pisong, they're very gifted, very talented, and they're confidence players. So when they're 2 goals up and they're getting lots of possession of the ball, really will start pulling things and making things happen.
They've got down quick, turns that over for a turns around the post for a corner.
This is a great effort from Hwang Din, because it's stuck under his feet and he still manages to dig it out, get it on target. Look here, it's stuck under his feet. Good stop.
Chances are mounting again here for Ho Chi Minh. Hafiz Sujan with the header. Here's Anderson. Take the throw in. I just heard Diakite say something to Amido. As the ball comes to him. Not surprising, perhaps.
Doing really well there, just standing up, and don't always have to win it.
Sahil. Reminder that Hougang United beat Lao Toyota earlier this evening, 3-2. Drama towards the end of that game. That means, of course, is that as of now, a few sides on 4 points. Not the end of the world necessarily for Hougang should they go on to lose this, but this is at home. This is where you need to be getting your wins.
Yep. A little bit more comfortable for yourself, get the points at home.
Shawal, plenty of football in this game. No foul for the referee.
And there, in good position, Hougang, maybe in Kwok, in a really good position, and ends up giving the ball away. Sahaimi's down there, he got flattered by Diakite. Referee deemed it legal. Doesn't really do too much, and I think Sahil Sahaimi, did he roll his ankle there? Well, it's a strange one, that.
See, John, that was in the box. That was in the box. Is that a foul for you?
Is it? No, I don't think it is a foul. I think Diakate's just stood his ground, and I think Sahil Sahaimi initiated the contact. I think the telltale sign there was the home side. There wasn't one player going up to the referee, wasn't in his face. And you can tell a lot from that usually. Sahil Sahaimi didn't pop up at all, and even now as he's walking off the field, didn't ask the question of the referee.
Singapore flag flying high off the pitch, not so much on it at the moment. Hougang have been outplayed by Ho Chi Minh City, who, like Hougang, are in their debut AFC Cup tournament. was a little bit of a response right at the start of the second half in terms of determination to get to the ball and winning 50-50s from Hougang. The chances have gone the way of Ho Chi Minh. Pison. Kok Phuong. Lovely interchange of passes. Great feet. Well, again, they haven't been able to score, but they do now. Balde with his second and Ho Chi Minh's third. And that surely will be it now. They have run this defence ragged.
Well, the difference between the sides is so often in the final third, and this time on the edge of the 18-yard box, the interchange of play, the communication, the relationships in that final third were absolutely fantastic. Deserved a goal first time. But Balde, that's what he's all about. His movement's not great, doesn't have electric pace. But this is why he's played, 20 games for Celtic and played for good sides. He's a battering ram, an absolute smasher of a header. Look at this, perhaps Kompong should have scored, deserved a goal. How about that for a header though? Only one place to put it. You feel a little bit for Hougang's back line because they scrambled and they did everything they could. Ultimately though, wasn't enough.
Completely left on his own in there. Not anyone around him. Too easy. Amino Balde on the hour. Makes it 3. Now that uphill struggle's just got a lot steeper for Hougang.
One of the things you really do notice is that the hunger that Ho Chi Minh have without the ball, the hunger, the desire to win it back quickly. And of course, you look at them and they look like they've been really well coached, individually, collectively.
Shawal trying to get that down for Sahil. He's won the ball back here. Let's return the favour. Nothing's done well. Pison, he's been excellent, hasn't he? And a foul by Shawal. Does well to win the ball back. Muscled Hafiz Sujad by Amino Balde, who is on a hat-trick here.
Yeah, very clever. They thought he would just take the contact instead. Hafiz Sujad just annoyed by being bullied, really.
Well, we can confirm that that is now the first yellow card for Hafiz Sujad. So it was a mistake, case of mistaken identity, as we thought earlier on. Wonder, past the hour mark, would you get someone like a Shafik Ghani on?
Well, it's as simple as it's not going to hurt. I don't think it's going to hurt. And not one substitution yet for Hougang. For a group of players, you look at their body language, they look ragged, they look frayed around the edges. And Matchell's not had a touch of the ball in that midfield in this second half.
Balde, now Pison. Fancy a goal now. Closed down by Afik, that shot. Why not have a go?
Well, it's a really good block from Zach Anderson coming out quickly there. But if you look initially just how deep they're having to defend Hougang, it's not even on the edge of that 18-yard box, it's inside their own 18-yard box. They have to try and get up just a little bit. Coming really deep now to try and get involved, trying to have a little touch of the ball.
Fizz won't get that. Too easy for Banson. Shawal. He's had his moments in this match. Afik. Nazrul Nazari was offside.
It was a really good run from Nazrul Nazari. He needed that first initial clip to just go over the top, and then he was in.
Well, you fear for Hougang at the moment. Every time Ho Chi Minh come forward.
That's unfortunate. If Adiba Balde could have taken that on the chest. How about that little swivel of hips and change of pace from Kong Fong?
He did really well in the build-up to that third goal. You thought that was going to go in, and then you thought the luck would continue for Hougang there.
It's a threatening partnership, isn't it, Kong Fong and Balde?
Real problems here for Hougang. Lovely work from Shawal. Right at the goalkeeper, poor cross.
Well,
could he have attacked the ball for you?
Oh well, you look at. I think he's well within his rights to have to ask the question of his teammates. Why is no one going across the goalkeeper? You know, there's two orange and black shirts in the box. Not one of them is making a beeline for the near post.
Kong Kwok looks up.
Just relaxed in there.
Shawal, Stipe Plazibat. Now Matchell. Flag eventually goes up for Sahil, who looks frustrated. He's doing most on this Hougang side at the moment.
Look here. I mean, it's a close one. But Sahel Sahaimi, he's got to be working off the right back then. He's got to be working off.
Well, they're 3 down, and they've made a change in midfield. Anumantan is on for Charles Matchell. He looks frustrated, doesn't he? That looks more of perhaps a damage limitation exercise, or perhaps saying John that Matchell might be feeling it.
Well, I think Matchell, he found it tough going, and you know, I know he's had a stint in Cambodia and he's used to these conditions, but playing in the AFC Cup, it is a step up. When you're playing against Vietnamese opponents, it's an even larger step up. He's playing against some of the best midfielders in Southeast Asia when they're confident.
Balde, Kong Kwok, will he take the shots? And it's scrambled clear by Zach Anderson.
Kong Kwok wanted it quicker, wanted the ball come to him a little bit quicker. Just wouldn't drop for him. He's just saying the ball's spinning away. Wants that other goal, doesn't he? Yeah, Anu coming on means he's just going to help out, holding that midfield, trying to break things down. 3-0 down, coming to 17 minutes at home. It's not great, of course it's not. It's pretty poor, but it could be a lot worse. So that's exactly what it is, damage limitation.
Away by Applin. And then Afik. Across to Pison. Nokduk. A quick look at the referee, no foul.
Even then, though, Ho Chi Minh, the pressing, 3-0 up, pressing high up the pitch, even though they can't win it, just smart enough to give a foul away, just enough contacts, give a foul away, break it down, slow things down. They can sense that their job's almost done.
then, just perhaps with an eye on this match. Probably not going Hougang's way, and look at that, Hafiz Sujan. Just seemed to switch off there, John.
Yeah.
Carolan is having to race back to his goal.
Once again, the hunger, the desire. It's a big difference. You know, Kompong, we were talking, Shez, weren't we, off air at half-time? About Kompong when he's up for it, when he's hungry, when he really wants to get those goals. He certainly is one of the best in the region, and that's a great ball in there. Balde's even applauding. And we were saying, you know, he's used to playing in front of 60,000 people. He's used to playing in big games, in Asian Cups, playing in Europe.
Well, this is a change we thought might happen. Shafiq Ali for Sahil Suhaimi. Forward for forward. Got a bit of a cheer from the crowd. Now, was that the last man? It's just a yellow card for Van Son.
Shawal's pace right there. Van Son caught the wrong side.
That was Shawal's point to the referee. Just wonder, couldn't see from that angle.
Well, I think Diakite was coming around there.
Seems to be the one who's going to take this. There's also Stipe Plazibat. Interested party as well. Plazibat! Oh, not too far away, just flashing past the post.
This is from here. I don't think that the keeper was too worried about it. It wasn't a great dive, perhaps he had that covered, but I guess that's the best of Stipe Plazibat in this game.
Well, there's still about 20 odd minutes in this match. And to try and make things uncomfortable. Tough ask. Here's Afik, looking for Plazibat. Nazrul against Komkien. And Plazibat. And Mantan. Pretty good ball in that one to Shawal Anwar. Kwok finds Afik Noor. Now Anu. Better passage of passing for them. There's better noise as well from the Hools. Oh, lovely control. Shafiq Ghani can get past Diakite. Clumsy there from Nazrul. About as decent a passage of play for Hougang as we've seen in a while.
Some crisp passing. No balls were bobbled into each other. It was a nice crisp passage of play. But even then, you know, it's frustrating. It comes to nothing, and I feel a little bit sorry for the Hougang backline because they really have been peppered with a little reprieve. You know, even in those sort of situations, it's been difficult for them to win the duels.
Anumontan. No Anderson. First change to be made by Ho Chi Minh shortly. You can see what Anumontan was trying to do. Nasrul Nazari's fast, but he's not that quick. Plazibat. Hassle there from Hu Tuan. Stay down, Shawal Anwar collides with the goalkeeper. Oh, he's pointed to the spot. There's a raised knee. Wei Tian Dung is having a word with the referee. He's having none of it.
Oh, that's a strange decision. Keeper's just stood there, and yeah,
I'm not sure that's a penalty, John.
Well,
he's raised. Well, yeah, he did raise his knee, didn't he? But I'm not sure there was contact.
Well, I think even if Shawal's initiated that contact there's been a big mistake from the goalkeeper.
We just haven't seen enough. We saw a couple of those balls for Shawal early in the first half. This is the first time we've seen it in the second half.
This is just highlighting what we knew, that Ho Chi Minh backline can switch off and do tend to switch off. In the early stages of the first half, Hougang got in behind a couple of times. Shawal didn't take his opportunity very early on in the first half.
Pison, the man with 2 assists, is making way. Plazibat waiting a while to take this penalty, add to his very impressive AFC Cup goal tally, and maybe, just maybe, can he give his side a lifeline here? And the answer is yes. And Hougang with their first ever goal at home. After Ho Chi Minh have scored 3 goals away, both teams again to reiterate playing in their first AFC Cup tournament.
Yeah, no messing with the penalty, was there? Sit the keeper down, stroke it in. And that should make Hougang feel a lot better about themselves.
It's an unlikely penalty, that one. They'll take that with both hands, and now can they just start to put a little bit more pressure here? Ho Chi Minh.
Dikate's just an absolute rock, isn't he, at the back there? Physically just so superior.
Tap there on Anumontan. And they're getting on with it. Hafiz Sujan. You can see what Anumontan was trying to do. Nokduk. Another goal from Hougang. Things can get very interesting here. So this is the man who's come with Win Xuan Nam. Through here, Kong Kwong, can he finish it now? Just was behind it, wasn't it? See again.
Yeah.
So much trickery about him.
The ball just wouldn't sit down, would it? The ball was like a mischievous child, wasn't it, for a minute? It just wouldn't behave.
So Xuan Lam, who's come on, very much an attacking player, 26-year-old, former under-19 international. Recently signed by Ho Chi Minh City. Here's Balde.
Yeah, didn't get the technique anywhere near right then. Kompong was just about to overlap him.
Afik. Around 50 minutes plus if we include added time, and they got behind the defence here. Good early ball! Brilliant play from Shaul. Stipe Plazibat has got his second, and all of a sudden Hougang have looked threatening.
Oh my, why are we surprised? In the AFC Cup, why are we surprised that there might be a comeback on? Straight ball over the top. For once, the Akate just goes to sleep. And so does his backline partner. Shaul does brilliantly, has a quick look. Just puts it into an area, puts it into space for Steve Plazibat, and of course he's not going to miss from there. It's a brace for him in what's been a very poor game for him. Poor game for his side, but they're still in this, back in this.
It needed to have that quick ball in from Shaul Anwar. He delivered it brilliantly, and it's again him with that ball over the top.
Well, it's frustrating, isn't it? Because, you know, there's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with playing straight balls over the top of defences. We know for a fact the backlines do not like to chase back towards their own goal. No defender likes that. And the thing is, it was working in the first half, early in the first half. Sometimes I think ego with players, with coaches especially. Coaches are so dogmatic with their style, with how they want to play. They don't want to do it. I mean, Antown, delicious ball over the top. Great movement from Shaul. And as Roshan was saying at half-time in the studio, he's an outlet. That's what Shaul's all about. If you think he's going to be cute and play 1-2s, you're wrong. But balls over the top, he'll get onto.
Well, even if they go on to lose this game, this is what they can look back on. That they've been poor. They have been poor, John, for about 70, 75 minutes.
Yeah, and it could have been embarrassing. I mean, it could have been 6. Could have been 5-6.
The number of chances that Ho Chi Minh have created.
And we saw before that, Kompong going through one-on-one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work for Hougan's backline. There's a lot of work for Ho Chi Minh's backline to do. But I tell you, there's a great deal of work in the heart of that midfield for Hougang to do if they have any aspirations of going deep in this competition. I tell you, Anu coming on.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Change things. We've seen Anu play in this competition a few editions ago.
For Home United?
That's right, and I thought that was probably his career best spell. I thought he was fantastic then.
Well, what he added, John, and we just saw that here, was, you know, he initially started as that hard, gritty, muscular, defensive midfielder, but he's added, you know, passes now. His passing range is far better than it used to be.
Well, we saw that in stages at Home United, but he was playing with slightly better individuals, wasn't he, Anu, that he could shunt the ball to. I think Anu knows exactly what he is. Also, if you look at him, he's always been in good shape. Physically, he's always been in good shape. Can the same be said for Sahel Sahaimi? Can the same be said for Shafiq Ghani? No, Afik Noor as well looks like he's slightly on the heavy side. This is what it gets you. You know, Anu comes on, looks fresh, in good shape. He's starting orchestrating things. He's talking. He's communicating. He's pulling his teammates around now.
Well, to a Kwok coming on for Levan Son. A little bit of panic in the ranks now.
See a lot of this. Ho Chi Minh taking their own sweet time.
There was that injury earlier. All crowded around him.
Yeah, that's much better from Zach as well, getting on that front foot.
Can they get that third? If they get it soon, can they even dream of winning this game?
It's always goals at Jalan Besar Stadium though, Shez? How many times we've partnered up commentating on AFC Cup games and drama, late goals.
This is certainly right up there. A very unlikely comeback with what we had seen preceding that from Hougang. Ball over the top again. There's going to be a corner rather than anything else. Nasrul Azari.
Well, you look at Nasrul Azari, he's been making run after run and he looks fresh now. He looks good. His starting position's a lot higher up. This is what we were calling for in the first half.
He's having a chat with the referee as if to say, why did you give me a penalty? Couldn't see too much of that. That's why Anu gets him away quickly. Diakite, big at the back.
He just didn't get on the ball there. Diakite took a little elbow in the ribs. It's a beastly header from him, wasn't it? A thumping header.
He's clutching his ribs and... Oh, they're all going down with crap now, aren't they? He's not really having any of it. They want to get on with it. The referee saying, move away. I'm keeping a very close eye on the clock.
This is why, you know, Anu's been worth his weight in gold since he's come on. That was a thumping header. He got a sandwich, really. I think Fabian Quab got a piece of him.
That was a bit of an elbow in there.
It was a bit of an elbow, yeah. Anu's going on to the referee. He says, hey, come on. Get him off the pitch. Let's crack on with this. And he's pulling his teammates around. He's added energy. He's added personality to the heart of that midfield.
They're going to make the final change. Vu Antoine, one of those that was rested today, is going to get a little cameo. I just want to get on with things.
Not bad play to bring on Vu Antoine either. Lots of experience.
International. He's going to come on for Nokduk in the middle of the park. Well, it seems to be okay now. Nokduk. 7 shots to 12. Oh, now is he just looking for that? Shawal Anwar.
Yeah,
could he have got past his man?
Well, he's having a little smile as well. But once again, Anu, what a ball over the top. Great little ball. He gets a little touch there, and there's nothing in that. Of course, the referee called that well.
If he stayed on his feet with that pace of his, could he have continued on? Balde goes down now. A lot of players going down for Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah.
Who again, not having any of it. Three minutes plus, you'd think, a fair bit of added time. Given the tactics, shall we say, of Ho Chi Minh in the last 7-8 minutes. Particularly after the second goal went in. He's completely missed that header. Now Shawal. He's absolutely running for everything. He's closing down using that pace of his. The rush to get that ball, of course, Gongkwak.
Good forward play though from Gongkwak, wasn't it? Just holding play up, really good strength. The strength that he didn't have before he went to Europe.
Touch one now. I'm going to get on with things.
It's just on that